All right, so as you saw from lesson 1 and 2, SEO can take up a lot of time. Search engine optimization is a very careful, methodical process that's going to eat up a lot of your time or one of your team members' time. And it's kind of difficult. So let's look at some things that are going to make it easier and make it consume less of your time. First off, Yoast SEO is a plugin for WordPress. That's going to handle your on-site SEO stuff. Now, most of you remember, if we come over here to the blog post that we were messing with back in lesson 2, what this does for you is it basically scans your content pieces, your blog posts, your pages, and so on, and it gives you scores. It gives you readability scores. It gives you your keyword ranking score, specifically how well you're using your keywords and key phrases in your content, your H1 tags, your H2 tags, the actual paragraph content itself. Internal linking, external linking, all that good stuff. So you can see a lot of that stuff in here, and you can manipulate a lot of it in here and make sure that your on-site SEO is as good as it possibly can get. Most of these tools that we're going to look at, though, are for backlinks. Most of them are for off-site SEO. So first off, there's Broken Link Builder. Now this is a very, very neat piece of software that will actually go out and find pages for you that have broken links on them. And then you can reach out to those people and say, hey, this link is broken, but I have a blog post or a page or a content piece that I think your audience will find useful. It's in the same topic area, and since I brought this to your attention, would you mind replacing that link with my link? This is where you really roll up your sleeves. You get your hands a little bit dirty. You get into the nitty-gritty of actually reaching out to these people and creating those human, real, genuine, and organic backlinks. And this software, the Broken Link Builder, is a great way to not have to manually go out there and crawl the web and try to find broken links on blogs and websites in your niche. This will find it all for you. Next, there's Pitchbox. Now, Pitchbox is pretty phenomenal. It's actually pretty hard to believe what they've done here. They've actually taken the concept of reaching out to web property owners and asking for backlinks, and they've turned it into basically a CRM. I mean, this looks like a CRM. This looks like an email marketing software or something. However, when these guys talk about campaigns and stuff, they're specifically referring to reaching out to influencers and high authority web pages. So what these guys will do is you can actually search for websites that it would be good for you and your niche to have high authority backlinks from, and it even has their contact information. That's what makes this special. It gives you their social media profiles, their contact us info and stuff, so that you can send them an email or a Facebook message or a tweet or whatever and say, hey, can I get a backlink? Can I, set up a deal where, I write a blog post for you and you do a guest blog post for us, and we can swap backlinks and that sort of thing. So there's a whole science behind this, and it's very data-driven. And Pitchbox makes it very easy to do. They even have automated follow-up sequences, okay, for messaging these people and stuff like that. So it's pretty spectacular. This is a very, very useful tool that'll come in handy if you're trying to automate a certain portion of finding contact info for those web properties and following up with them. Next, there's Backlink Tracker. Now, this is pretty special. It obviously tracks your backlinks. I mean, that's a very basic function. However, it also helps you keep an eye on and analyze your competitors' backlinks, which you saw already you can do over in Moz. But in this case, this is very special. They actually monitor your competitors' backlinks. And whenever your competitor gets a new backlink, you get a message. You get an email saying, hey, your competitor website just got a backlink from, robotvacuumsrus.com. And so you can actually stay neck and neck with them. You can keep up in the sort of arms race of backlinking by literally going to that same site and seeing if it's possible for you to get a backlink from that same web property. So this is really, really a great way to keep you in the competition, keep you in the game in real time, actually sending you emails with information every time that your competitors get a new backlink. That is pretty impressive, pretty powerful stuff, and it'll help you a lot. Now, the next one I want to talk about here is specific to local. It's called a White Spark. Now, WhiteSpark's local citation finder is pretty sweet. It finds citations from anywhere, so business listings and directories, which is great for practical purposes because local businesses can find citations on databases or directories that they didn't even know existed. For example, Yelp is one that most people know exists. However, there's plenty out there that people have not thought of. And when they find those, they can go in there and actually create a proper listing of their business. Okay, which will help them get foot traffic into their stores. However, citations also refers to everything that we would just refer to as backlinks in the regular non-local SEO world. Okay, so blogs, digital magazines, wikis, all that kind of stuff. So what you can do here is you can find key phrases. So you type in, for example, right here it says dentist, but you could put in barbecue restaurant or something like that. And it'll create multiple variations of that word, specifically having to do with your local area. So different cities and zip codes and county names and different phrases that have to do with your local area that people might be using to search when they want to go eat at your restaurant or they need a dental appointment or something like that. So that's very useful here. The big thing here, however, is identifying your top ranking competitors and allowing you to analyze and spy on their citations as well. So you can actually go out there. Let's say that you've got a competing barbecue restaurant and you find out that they're actually listed on a popular food critique blog. So you're in the Chicago area, you've got a barbecue restaurant, your competitor across the street, he's ranking way up there, high above you, and you're wondering why. And then you find out that there's a Chicago's Best Eats kind of blog where there's a food critic who comments on local restaurants, and now you know that that guy has a backlink from that blog, and you can reach out to that guy and say, hey, why don't you come to my restaurant? I'll fix you up a meal, and you can tell us what you think of it, and maybe give us a little bit of love on your blog. So it's the same basic thing as online or non-local SEO, like we've been talking about, but in this case, it's at a local level. And then there's Discover Citation Opportunities, which is not competitor specific. It just helps you get out there and find relevant sites where you could get citations, and those would help you with your local listing. So this is absolute gold for local businesses, whether you are a local business or if you offer this as a service, SEO services to local businesses. Now, let's acknowledge that these tools, all these tools that we've looked at, are certainly going to make SEO a little bit easier, and they're going to help you get it done in less time. However, it's still a lot of stuff. Even with these tools, you still got to dedicate a lot of time to on-site and off-site SEO. So what is the ultimate solution to really taking this out of your hands, getting it done, but without taking up too much time? It's hiring a virtual assistant. That's really simple. So this is a website called onlinejobs.ph. It specializes helping people outsource to the Philippines. It's a big old database of resumes and job seekers, people who want to work from home in the Philippines. It was started by a guy named John Jonas. It's a very popular website, very trusted website, and Filipinos are an excellent way to outsource tasks in your business. Filipinos have English as one of their primary languages officially. So they speak fantastic English, almost no accent at all. And they type excellent English as well. And yet, because of the difference in the buying power of the US dollar, you can hire Filipinos for a very, very small amount of money. So a lot of these folks will work 30 to 40-hour weeks and only expect, $300 or so per month as their salary. It's pretty impressive, pretty useful for businesses who are trying to outsource stuff, and it's a fantastic way to take SEO off of your plate and hand it to someone else. So let's go ahead and come in here. We're going to click on Skills to Filter. We're going to come over to Marketing and Sales, and we're going to click on SEO, and we want that set at 5 stars. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit Refine Search Results. And here we have some SEO results. Now these are people who can build your backlinks, or some of them are just content writers. They can just write content for you if you want. Remember, content is probably the most important part of SEO. So you tell them what the topic is, what the focus keywords and key phrases are, and they'll come up with your content for you. So you don't have to write blog posts and stuff. Okay, so we've got one here who's willing to work for $388 a month. SEO, search engine optimization, search engine marketing. You've got Let's see, another one here. SEO and SMM expert, $485. We've got an SEO specialist here. He's asking for $800. We've got a SEO assistant and link builder. He specifies that he's familiar with backlinking. Okay, $291 per month. So this is pretty impressive stuff. SEO specialist here for $388 to $485. Another SEO expert, $291. SEO here, $388. So as you can see, this is a great way to find someone. And you don't just hire these people as freelancers. This is not like going to Fiverr or something. You're not hiring them for a project, although you theoretically could. You know, you're certainly welcome to reach out to these people and ask if they're interested in the short-term project. However, most of the folks on here are looking for a permanent position. Okay, and that's another benefit here is you're not going to get someone who's going to take some money and then, you know, off they go and hopefully they did a good job. This is someone who's going to take upon themselves the burden and the accountability of permanently being on your team and having to always do a good job if they want to maintain their employment. So this is a great way to bring someone on your team. And you don't have to pay, by the way. You know, if SEO is not something that takes up 40 hours a week, you can pay these people for just 10 or 20 hours a week. You know, it all depends on what they're open to, but you'll notice a lot of these folks have ranges in their salaries, and that's because they're willing to work a range of time. So some of them will take on a job and, you know, let's say you only need them for 10, maybe 15, 20 hours a week doing your backlinking for you, doing all that outreach, reaching out to the people who own those websites so you don't have to. You know, it's a great way to take SEO off of your plate, put it on someone else's plate, and still get those things done. And even if these folks are not super skilled in certain aspects of it, and they just have a general familiarity with SEO, remember, all they're going to learn is the same thing you would have learned if you were going to do it by yourself anyway. You know, so they don't have to be super experts. When you were going to start using Pitchbox, that tool we talked about earlier, that helps you find the contact info for high authority websites that you can get backlinks from, you were going to sit through all the tutorials for Pitchbox, weren't you? So why not just have them sit through it, them learn how to use it? Same thing with the broken link builder. Same thing with the local citation finder. All this good stuff, just teach them how to do it or have them sit through all the training and the tutorials and so on and so forth, and have them do it so that you don't have to. And we both know if you're an entrepreneur, if you're having someone else do it for you, it's much more likely to actually get done because SEO is the epitome of overwhelming work. And when we get overwhelmed with work as entrepreneurs, sometimes, guess what? We don't end up doing it. So this is a great way to make sure the work gets done and that it doesn't take up too much of your time. So I'd really encourage you guys to not just use all those cool tools that we just showed you, but also bring on an actual human onto your team who can do this stuff for you, who can learn it if they don't know it already, or if they already know it, great, but they can do it for you so it A, gets done, B, doesn't take up too much of your time, and C, in the case of outsourcing to the Philippines, doesn't cost you too much. So that's it for the SEO course. Remember, you want to research your keywords, you want to create content, and optimize on-site to make sure that you get as much kudos and cool points from Google and their algorithm as possible. And then it's all about off-site. Backlinks, backlinks, backlinks. We've gone over some great tools that will help you build those backlinks very quickly. And I highly recommend, just the icing on the cake, hire a virtual assistant and have them do it all. Learn it all and do it all for you.